wrong screen, Blake.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
Yeah, we are.
No, we're not.
See, we're going back.
Chapter jump.
Jump on it.
Jump on it.
You're wasabi.
Ride a dick now. Jump on
Blake,
it.
why do you have to make it sexual?
Because I need sexual.
No.
Healing.
Baby. I love that scene in
And
I
I
Spy.
know.
Did you ever see that movie?
What?
I Spy?
I think so.
With,
Owen Wilson and Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
It's a good fucking movie.
Great fucking movie. Because I need sexual heal.
And then Owen Wilson's like, sexual.
Heal.
Wow.
Oh, you know what I'm not gonna do?
Fuck up.
You know what I'm not gonna let happen?
The vibrations.
Let that alarm go off.
Those love vibrations happen.
Yeah.
Alright, set the... Here we go. Going into
You
chapter...
vibrate your whole body.
We're going to chapter 3.
I was feeling a cramp coming on.
Here we go
The
now.
phone rang! Suddenly rang.
The phone suddenly rang. I woke up in a hurry. The clock read 9 p.m. Damn it! I slept past the time I was supposed to report in. I picked up the receiver. Akasaka-sama! You have a call from the outside line. Shall I connect you? It's from a coworker named Kano-sama. I knew it. I didn't call in, so they had phoned me. Sorry, please put me through. Understood. I'll connect you, so please hang up the receiver for the time being. After I put down the receiver for a few seconds, the phone began to ring again. Yes, hello? This is Akasaka.
That is bright.
Akasaka-kun. This is Kano. Good work out there. You
job.
didn't call in for your regular report, so we called instead. What's your situation?
What's your situation?
Leaving a lecture for later, my senior coworker got straight to the point. Today I went to the village proper. Under the guise of a tourist, I managed to establish contact with the mayor and several other core members of the Defense Alliance. I wasn't able to ask them anything, but I left a good impression, was able to make a bridge for my investigation from tomorrow onwards. I see. It looks like things are going smoothly.
Not really.
Akasaka-kun, you seem naive sometimes, but that might have worked in your favor. I guess you made some good progress for now. I don't have the experience to make a comparison, so I don't know if it's that good or not. I think things went well for today, though. Did you find out anything from the prefectural or local offices? Does it look as though the Onikafuchi Defense Alliance is unrelated to the incident? I still didn't know. I should have been able to say that immediately. I only had to say that, but for some reason I hesitated. I'm still investigating, so I don't know what to say yet. I see. Could you let us know as soon as possible? I think you understand, but after tonight, it'll have been a full 4 days since the kidnapping happened. They didn't set a time limit, but it's obvious that time is not on our side. I think you know that. Yeah. I know. I'll investigate a little quicker while still being careful about it. Okay. Be sure to look after yourself. You're dealing with a violent organization here.
Yeah, one that would kill you.
It might be dangerous to let your guard down. If you feel that you're in any danger, contact me immediately. In that case, I can get the local public safety office prepared to help you. Thank you. I'll do my best. Anything else to report? I reported several bits of supplementary information. At the very end, I decided to ask. How's the investigation going on your end? Everybody's doing their best here, but we're not making much progress. After all, the number of organizations we're investigating is vast. So if you find out the one you're investigating is in the clear, we'll have you return to Tokyo to assist some of the other officers. The chief is saying to dig up what you can on Onikafuchi, but I don't think a residential anti-dam protest group has any relation to the incident at hand. Sending somebody out just to investigate a single group makes me cringe, really. At this point, he was just complaining. He was telling me to stop taking time, enjoying my trip, to finish up and get back quick. I'll try and resolve this as soon as I can. Thanks. I'm counting on you. Well then, if there's nothing else, I'm hanging up. Okay. That's all I have. As we were entering our call, He scolded me thoroughly for being late with my regular report. After that, I hung up the phone and sprawled out on the bed. Come to think of it, I hadn't heard anything from Oishi. He was supposed to contact me about a time and place to meet up with the informant tonight. Thought about getting angry with Oishi in retaliation for being scolded for forgetting my daily report. Come to think of it, though, Oishi didn't really say anything other than that he was gonna call tonight. Waiting for a phone call when he didn't know what time was gonna come was in itself rather difficult. Just when I thought that, the phone rang. I picked up the receiver in a hurry. Hello? You mind telling Zach to keep it down?
Yeah, I got you.
Or close his door if he's in his room?
He is.
Hey Zach, keep it down! Focus, bitch.
Bitch. Punk ass bitch. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Well, I'm assuming this is Oishi. Well, this is a surprise. Akasaka-san, you're pretty quick to answer the phone. Are you a regular user of dating chat lines or something? I would never even try something silly like that. The way you overreact is rather interesting. Want to go to a place where you can have a little bit of lewd fun? I'll pass, so could you please get to the point, Oishi-san?
What is with this music?
This is very film noir. Very film noir. Really? Too bad.
Why does it feel like Oishi's like sexually talking to us?
We'll leave that for next time then. Well, I'll get to the point. This week on Oishi ASMR. That's for like 10 hours. Many of the executives in the Onikafuchi Defense Alliance had a lot of sway in the neighboring regions. Even in Okinomiya, there were a lot of people with relations to the village. That's why meeting in the Shishibane Market District, far from Okinomiya, was a matter of course. Akasaka-san! Over here! Did you get a little lost? Coming from the north entrance might have been a bit of a detour, but it was easy to give directions from there. No, I'm sorry for being late. Did you eat dinner already? Yeah, I already did. Well then, shall we go to a place where we get a drink? Do you prefer Western alcohol? Or maybe sake? Would you prefer a place with or without women? Don't worry about it. I don't drink while I'm on the job. Hearing that, the man that Oishi had brought along bent backwards as he guffawed, clapping Oishi on the shoulder. See? Isn't he just adorable? In exchange, can you give him a bit extra? That money all came from this guy's wallet, you know? The man that Oishi had brought seemed almost like a ticket scalper or a bookie. Even his appearance was dubious. The informant grinned deviously. Hey boy, how much did you give this guy? It looks like they're quite was a bit skimmed off the top, you know? Oishi's handling fee was included, so I took that into account. Seemed that the informant had expected a more extravagant reaction on my part. When I responded matter-of-factly, he realized that I was an entirely different type of person than he was. Rather than putting a distance between us, it seemed that I had piqued his interest. I said it, didn't I? He's the serious type. But do you see, Akasaka-san? People in a line of work like ours can really use their wealth of experience to their advantage. I'm wondering exactly how the experience of drinking in a bar with women would work to my advantage. Yeah, right? The informant, unable to contain himself, clutched at his stomach as he guffawed, heedless of the people. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. Guffawed? Gaffawed?
Gaffawed.
Gaffawed. Aladdin 2,
Jafar.
Return of Gafar. Oh, Lottie. Akasak. Is that no issue?
I don't think so.
You really can't judge people. That's what an education does for you. Oh, that was Oishi. Oishi-san? You've been drinking somewhere, haven't you? Are you drunk? What's wrong with drinking when I'm off duty? Even if you're working, I'm not. Oishi, who is the sort that fool around to begin with, was in such a good mood I couldn't figure out a way to deal with him. Completely different than me, who had come worried about getting every bit of information I could. Oishi-san, after taking so much money, you were supposed to get me information worth at least as much. I thought this, but then realized that I was getting my information from the informant, so it didn't matter how drunk Oishi was. There was nothing I could complain about, but I still felt slightly riled up. Oishi and the informant, who was no doubt a fake name, but he introduced himself as Sato, led the way deeper and deeper in the back streets of the market district. Even though the market was bustling, a couple of turns off the main street and you were in a desolate alleyway, Oishi started climbing a set of stairs on the side of a seedy building. There wasn't any sort of signage, so I couldn't tell if the place was open, or if it even was a store at all.
Blake?
Yeah.
What was Sato's brother's name?
Satoshi. It's not Sato. It's a different person.
Yeah, but it's a fake name.
Fake name. So
And
we
this
don't
was
know.
7 years ago.
Too soon to make speculations.
Okay, fine.
Don't worry. This isn't a dubious place. Those words coming from Oishi's mouth had absolutely no credibility.
I love Oishi.
Beyond the door was thankfully a typical mahjong parlor. I was relieved that it wasn't the sort of suspicious place I had to be on my guard about. Welcome, welcome! Oh, Oishi-san, it's been a while. Want to join in? There'll be a free spot soon. No, I'm here with a group today, so it's fine. Sorry to keep you waiting. Mahjong is a game played with 4 people. Seems that a middle-aged man who was going to be our 4th had already arrived and was waiting for us. You're late, Kuroda. I was just thinking of going home. I wish he made an excuse for why he had taken so long, eventually realizing that I was a new face. The other man grew interested. That's Akasaka-san. He's a rookie who came all the way from Tokyo on assignment. They have high hopes for him. Boy, can you play Mahjong? Well, I played a bit when I was still a student. Sato and the old man cackled in unison. Their plot to sucker me out of my money was painfully obvious. I thought you'd be a bit tired from your assignment leaving you on edge all the time, so I thought I'd give you a night to cleanse your spirit.
More like cleanse my wallet.
I know asking this now might be stupid, but we're betting money on this, aren't we? Well, I see, just a little. Yeah, it's just a little for funsies. But it doesn't matter who loses, because after this, we're using that money to go play at a very nice place. Go and play. What kind of place would you be doing that? Without reservation, the 3 of them started suggesting places like cabarets, high-class clubs, and even brothels. At the very least, they were the type of places that you couldn't go to with money that was just for funsies. Oishi-san took all my money the other day, and I also have work to do, so I can't stay for long. And all you have to do is win. If you win, then you can use that money to pay for this table, and then you can talk to Kurudo. Oh, fuck, that's not Oishi. You can talk to Kurudo about work or whatever. No matter what happened, it seemed like they were intent on playing Mahjong for free. I would have to fasten my resolve a bit. If I was going to be underestimated like this forever, it was going to get in the way of my work. I understand. And I'll play with you guys just for a bit. If I win, you guys don't get any of the money or get to go to any of those dirty places. And we talk about work right away. Yeah.
Are we gonna have one of those fun incidents where it's like, oh, I have to do this?
Oh, it's like the club activities, but not.
It's like the club activities, but it's like an actual...
It's like we still get it. Yeah, bring it on! If I win, we're heading straight to the Blue Mermaid on Flower Road. Oh, that place with the girls dressed up in gym clothes and maid uniforms? This old Lechia likes that place too. Of course we're gonna hop between all the places where they keep the girls coming. Slip, slip, slip. What about you, Sato-san? I prefer a place where we can drink quietly. Like a nice quiet place where you can play footsies with a bunny girl. The last time we went drinking, you pulled the tail right off that bunny girl, didn't you? Did you end up having to pay for that? Gunner ended up charging what he called a tailoring fee. What a lively table this was. I could tell the other customers were glaring at us while we loudly continued our crude conversation. Speaking of which, the fact that they assumed I was the same was a bit disheartening. Oishi had taken all the money I'd brought, so everything I had left was out of my own pocket. In addition, there wasn't that much left of that either. If I kept on hanging around him like this through his goading, my wallet would disappear in the night. I had to somehow win and return the conversation to my job. These people, no matter how you looked at it, were pretty good. Sorry, Yukie.
Yes.
I'll just call Riichi here. Well, the old man and Sato-san probably won't fall for this silly Riichi. I wonder if Akasaka-kun will spit out what I need. At any rate, Kuro's hand is probably holding something like that. Huh. In that case, this one ought to go through. There! Oh, the old man's pretty good. He's quietly trying to use one of my safe tiles to complete his hand, isn't he? Seems that Akasaka-kun has at least learned the ropes when it comes to guarding against someone's Riichi. But that will be his downfall! What's wrong, boy? Would you hurry up and discard? If you're not sure, anything that Kurudo has already thrown will anyway should be safe, no? Oh, Akasaka-kun's really fretting over this one. It was glaringly obvious that he had a safe tile to discard, but he didn't want to throw it away because it would move him further from completing his hand. They're so nice when they're young and innocent. Come on, hurry up and throw out that kicker. If he gave me the winning tile, we'd be headed to an establishment where I could do all sorts of licking and sucking. If gives this old man his winning tile, we'd be heading straight for the place with the maids and bloomers. This will go through, right? He looked up as he hesitantly threw out a tile that was... Oh, too bad. Hey now, that's a dangerous tile, you know. Kurudo, does that go through? Yeah, it will. Seems this time you were lucky. But as long as the round kept going, I can still win off the draw. So intense. But after that, Akasaka-kun managed to luckily avoid throwing any bad tiles, and somehow the round managed to end without anybody completing a hand. Tenpai? Tenpai? No ten? Sato-san had keenly anticipated that two players were in Riichi and had decided to play it safe. What a cool-headed way of playing. Now let's see, what kind of hand did Akasaka-kun have? When the round ends with nobody winning in Mahjong, anybody in Tenpai has to show their hand. But if you're not in Tenpai, you have no obligation to reveal it. Your average beginner would normally show their hand even if they weren't in Tenpai, and start a commotion about how this tile or that tile came to be when it being Tenpai. But he didn't. Being stingy? How'd you do, boy? Come on, show it! Sato-san reached over to flip the hand that Akasaka-kun had casually placed face down. Huh? What the hell is this? He was nowhere near Tenpai. Was Akasaka-kun totally bad at this after all? Right then, as the old man compared the tiles from Akasaka-kun's hand to the discard pool, a puzzled expression crossed his face. Boy, you were in Tenpai right around here, weren't you? Why'd you break your hand? The higher Manzu tiles suddenly got more valuable, so he suppressed them. Even though, with Oishi-san's Riichi, the chance they were safe tiles had increased. Would have been in no trouble if he had read the discards, but he went out of his way to keep them out of play. Oh? So Kuruudo's tenpai was no good from the start, in other words. If it wasn't such a high-level trap, I would have thought you were waiting for me to throw out the winning tile. But the more concerning thing is that you were in tenpai and didn't say anything. When did you realize I was in tenpai? Around here? You threw out 4 tiles in a row. Immediately. At first I thought you were just discarding redundant tiles, but I noticed you were glancing over at me and realized you were waiting for something. Akasaka-kun. Ooh. Akasaka-san, when did you first start playing Mahjong? I never did, except in high school and university. Now let's continue. Since Sato-san wasn't in tenpai and the round ended without a winner, and I'm next, right? The next dealer. Seems like Akasaka-kun is really aware of how the game flows. We thought we were just gonna eat him alive, but it looks like that isn't gonna be so easy.
I like how the position has changed to another person.
Oh yeah, I can't tell if this is Oishi's perspective or not. It's probably Oishi's.
Yeah.
Oishi-san, looks like you're going for the bamboo tiles. Should I put some in play? This boy! Kuruudo, don't back down! As long as I get 3 more tiles. Sato-san, think you can do it? Damn it. I'll just force you to go for a cheap Tanyo. Cheap! Straight? Well, sorry, I'm gonna pawn that tile. Whoa now. Gonna call 3 of a kind after you declared it straight? Trying to override and interfere? Boy, you're getting pretty used to this. Oh no. I couldn't even compare to you guys who have been playing since I was ever even born. That's game, Ron. Triplets! 2 red Dora and 3 more Dora! I'm the dealer, so this will cost you quite a bit. Gah! Akasaka-san, nice job. Now we'll have to get serious. Come on. Well, can you get serious about handing over your points? I'm tired, so let's end this quickly. Akasaka-kun? This is somehow unreal! Before I could realize it, there was an anonymous cold air emitted from beneath Akasaka-kun's feet. How blasé! The 2, 5, and 8 Manzus are laughing at you! Damn it! Boy, you... Kuruudo, finish it! You have to end the boy's turn as dealer! I hate to admit it, but it seems like the best option. There it is! Run! Simple, straights, 1 Dota! Maybe that's wrong. Sorry, head bump. Wrong! Straight! A head bump? You damn brat! Brat? So you'd play that sloppily against a brat? Guess that means you're worse than a brat yourself! It's so interesting. The way you guys call people things like brat, boy. Akasakan's getting confident. Akasaka-kun? That is you, isn't it? It feels like you're a totally different person! You thought that I, being a sucker, would let you drink some good booze tonight? Seems like you're a little off the mark. Wrong. Triple straight, red Dota, and another Dota. Whoa. Whoa. He actually did it. That's why I was saying you guys are slacking. No matter how many you look at, you have to be able to read such an obvious 3-way weight. Akasaka-kun chuckled as he rested his chin in his hands. That buzz was so fitting it was almost scary. Hey, Kuruudo. This isn't what we discussed. Who the hell said he was a naive sucker right from the picking? Who could it be? Oishi-san, this is bad. If he keeps going like this, we're seriously gonna lose. Akasaka-kun, for you to make me get serious. Looks like you really want to be milked dry. Pong! Pong! That sounds nice. One more time, pong! Akasaka-kun was almost singing at this point. The tiles he had opened were all pin tiles. Can't be serious. Are you really gonna go for the flush? Pong! Boy, are you right in the head? You've opened 4 sets. You only have 1 tile left, you know. That's right. Did you know? Waiting on a single tile is the hardest thing to read. Are you an idiot? That much on your hand revealed? You don't think we'd give you a tile you need, do you? I know what you're doing, Sakasaka-san. That's not a flush or a half flush, is it? The fact that you called pawn 4 times means you're already in position for an all triple hand. Right now, you're far and away in the lead. You're trying to show a flush and goad us into giving you triplets, aren't you? That's what you think? Want to try throwing out some pins? Left 5 tiles in your hand, Oishi-san. They're pin tiles you're reluctant to throw away, aren't you? Why don't you try discarding them in order from the left? You must be joking. Is he a Mahjong god? If not, he had to be the main character of a manga or something. At that moment, the old man sent me a sign under the table. The message was simple and clear. Garuda. Do it. Crush him. I don't like to cheat against kids like this. Idiot. After being disrespected like this, we can't pull back now. Well, I'm not responsible for what happens, you know. Go ahead. Here we go, boy. Ricci. We'll go open. I'm waiting for a 1, 4, or 7 of pins. Most likely the tile that Akasaka-kun was waiting for was one of those tiles. With this, Akasaka-kun was no longer capable of winning the hand. When I drew from the wall, I switched out the tile that Akasaka-kun would draw. The tile that I put in was the 1 pin. One of the tiles that the old man was waiting on. Akasaka-kun discarded a little while ago, so there was no threat of it being the one he needed. Come on, it's your turn, boy. Huh. I knew he was troubled that the tile he drew was the 1 pin. Of course, he couldn't discard it. Boy, you must be aware, but if you discard to an open reach, it's worth the limit, you know? You don't have to tell me that. The tile that came from Akasaka-kun's hand was an honor tile. Ooh, ain't that something? There's only 1 north wind left tile, right? Isn't there? You were counting on a really rough weight, weren't you? But with this, Akasaka-kun's fate was decided! Brat. You're lucky you're safe, but your hand only has a single tile. You think you'll be able to run away the rest of this round? So it's gonna be like that. Akasaka-kun glared at the old man with a discerning eye. This guy had pretty good instincts. Did he figure out we were cheating? Let's stop this. Akasaka-kun is a step or 2 ahead of us. Fool! You think we can stop after we've come this far? Next, make him draw it. The next tile Akasaka-kun would draw was the 7 pin. With that, it would be settled. No matter which one he discarded, he played right into the old man's hand. An unavoidable full payout! When I drew my tile, I sneakily swapped Akasaka-san's. Crash! What? Akasaka-kun suddenly sneezed, collapsing the wall of the tiles in front of him. Hey, what are you doing? Sorry, I accidentally knocked over the wall when I sneezed. There's a penalty for that, right? I'm the dealer, so 4,000 to everybody? Or is the penalty my point sticks? Unable to hold back, I can fire! Akasaka-kun knew he was going to be cornered a second time and unable to escape. He took the drastic measure of knocking over his own wall. You're good, boy. To get away from a full payout like that. Oishi-san, could you not bother putting me in such an obvious trap? If we were at Baba, this would have been the point where I flipped the table. Oh, no. Sorry. I underestimated you. For some reason, you're really good, aren't you? Answer me honestly. You got a lot of experience when you were younger, didn't you? I played quite a bit around with Waseda and Takadano Baba. Takadano Baba. The place when I was accustomed to going to had pretty high rates, and they chewed me out. I made the woman who would become my wife pretty angry, so I washed my hands of it all. Raised the stakes too high? How much were you playing for at that time? It depends on who I was playing with, but it was more expensive when I played in Kabukicho. The largest stakes I played were about 20 times the standard rate. 20 times?! What kind of stakes were those? Do you have Yakuza at your table? Or pro baseball players? What's this? Kurudo! You buffoon! Where did you pull this professional from? I give up. Jeez. Boy, it's your win. I surrender. Thank you very much. It was an honor. Oh my. Akasaka-san, your personality really changes when you play. Why do you even have a day job? You'd have no problem living as a freelancer. To be a pro Mahjong player, you need both talent and luck. I didn't have anything like that supporting me. Luck is luck. With somebody of your skill, I think you'd be able to make it pretty far. But the luck doesn't cut it. Calling a con in 1 time out of 3, you can aim to win one of the extra draw with 4 Dora. That kind of luck. Akasaka kid, if you can judge something like that, you're already bordering on the supernatural. No, there's plenty of people who could do that without cheating or superpowers. There was a person I met in Shijuku who would get Doras every time you blinked. He was as strong as a demon. There was a pro I played with in Yokohama who would draw the tile he needed immediately after calling Ricci like it was an everyday thing. I don't have that kind of luck. What type of folks were those? They weren't named Ryu or Satoshi by any chance? Well then, is it alright if I'm declared the overall winner then? Yeah. We totally lost. I lost. It's been a while since I lost this big. Still, when you were playing, boy, you were pretty into it. It was kind of scary. I hear that.
It was scary, mister.
I don't mean to change gears like that, though. Did it really look that scary? Yep. The 3 of us nodded emphatically in agreement. So that was Akasaka-kun, Mahjong prodigy. Before he goes home from his assignment, maybe I could have him go play at a high-stakes table in my place. It's not good to get greedy. Well then, nothing for it. It was a promise. We'll break up our little late-night study group right now. Sorry about this, old man. That's it for tonight. Nothing you can do. I'm going on to sleep. My body won't last like this. Problems at work? Oh, he's the foreman of the primary construction. Oh, that's Problems at work is Akasaka. And I'm pretty sure Oishi is this guy. And foreshadowing! It's the foreman!
The foreman
that's gonna get mullered! Oh, he's the foreman of the primary construction site at Namizawa Dam. He's butting heads with the residents every day. It's a rough business. Around next year, I might be in charge of the second side as well. Heard that Kuroda-san was pissing blood. Won't hold out much longer. You'll be alright, old man. Your skull is thicker than it looks. I'm not exactly a saint, you know. There's times that just make my blood boil. I especially can't stand dealing with that bratty daughter of Sonozaki's. I think one of these days I'm gonna rearrange her face. Nah. At least the pay is good, right? Heard the wages were pretty exorbitant. Of course they are. If the pay was cheap, nobody would hang around that god-awful job. Hey, Kurudo, exactly when are the police gonna tell all the villagers to shove off? There'll be a notice of eviction from the government, right? Maybe. I wonder what will happen. The old man who identified himself as the foreman of Namizawa Dam spewed a few complaints until he felt better about it, then left quietly. Well then, let's go. I'll leave the rest to Sato-san. Oishi-san, are you going home? If I'm here, I'll just be in the way, won't I? Besides, the one who bought Sato-san's services was you. I didn't pay for my share. Oishi-san was kind of sketchy, but he was strangely conscientious about some things. Felt quite a bit of gap between myself and Oishi-san's generation from that part of him I didn't comprehend. And boy. No. Can't call Mr. Mahjong here boy no more. Is Akasaka-san alright with you? Yes. And Akasaka-kun. Shall we go? Well then, Akasaka-san, later. If you're having any trouble, you can count on me anytime. I don't have any more money to pay, you know that? You can just give back a little what I lost tonight. She's seemingly still not having had his fill of playing around, but without overstaying his welcome, disappeared into the night.
Halfway.
Alright, I'm gonna cut here to... Okay, so I guess splice this in if we can come up with some speculation that's good enough for the video.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a break, waiting on Michael for something, so we're just gonna hold off and reading the rest. So the guy of the dam.
Yeah, he is.
We have now met the victim that kicks this off. It's like, holy shit. Okay, so how it... So...
It's gonna end with him dying.
Now that we... This guy is in association with Oishi. They seem on good terms. So here's what I'm thinking. Oishi and the Sonozakis have bad blood because of this incident. If this guy is a friend of Oishi's and the Sonozakis killed Oishi, or killed the guy at the dam construction site, that gives Oishi plenty of motivation to try and thwart and try to disrupt, try to cause chaos using Keiichi to try to get into the Sonozakis because he does not like them. And they don't like him because he's friends with the damn construction site guy.
Yep.
It makes total sense. There is the motive. That's if. That's if it plays out like that. If it plays out like that, it makes sense. You know?
What if it's not the Sonozakis?
If it's not the Sonozakis that killed him, then it's possible there's a third party that
is fucking with
it is
both
placing
sides.
the blame on the Sonozakis because it's not putting them in good light. If an incident like that occurred with the things that are going on right now, would you not first point your eyes towards the Sonozakis?
Mm-hmm.
And it's obvious that if there is a third party, they're trying to cast the blame on them.
Yeah.
To try to cause this chaos, try to cause this disruption. But the question is who and why if there is a third party. If there is not a third party, if it's the Sonozakis, that gives Oishi plenty of reason to go after them.
Damn, like, you're just like...
I'm like, I just, it's that one line, I'm like, I got it. I piqued my interest.
I'm so happy.
I'm intrigued.
I'm so happy to be back in this.
The mystery. So many questions. We're almost done with the question arcs.
Then we'll be on the answer arcs. Sometime.
Soon. Depending on how long this chapter is. Which, based on the achievements compared to the others, not that long.
I think you get one per chapter.
I want to think it's one per chapter.
And
Or
there's
one per important chapter.
And there's like 6.
It was like 6. And like, and 2 of them was like, read all the tips and view the after party.
So there's only like 4.
Yeah. It's only 4 more.
Jeez. So we're like, it's about to stumble. Like,
Well, I have a feeling it's going to kick off pretty fast.
after this night.
Considering how short this chapter is, it could kick off next chapter.
Yeah. Because I feel like we're going to meet with this Sato.
Well, we're already meeting with Sato. Sato's going to give us the information we need.
Yes.
And a lot of speculation is going to come off of what Sato's going to tell us.
Because he didn't really speak that much in the Mahjong game.
I don't know. I don't know who was talking. I know it was from Oishi's perspective, but as for who was talking, I could tell when it was Akasaka. I couldn't tell when it was either of the other 3.
I feel like it was Akasaka and Oishi and Karudo.
Karudo?
Karudo.
Kurudo? It was either Kurodu or Karudo. I think it was Kurudo. Kurudo, I think, is what his name was.
I think those two were the ones that were getting.
Yeah, I think Kurudo was the one that was like under the table with Oishi.
Yeah.
Because it seems like those two are close. The way they act with each other, and I'm assuming those two were the ones in the bathroom.
Yeah.
They're like, we got to do something about this. I don't think it was Sato. Sato seems like just a little more distant.
Yeah, but he is a pervert as well.
Yeah. It's probably where they met. They probably met under similar circumstances.
So, I really hope that Sato is freaking Satoko's brother. I want it to be him because he would disappear, and then
here's why it's not him.
Why?
How old is Satoshi? How old is Sato? This is like 5-7 years ago.
Yeah.
Satoshi is the same age as Keiichi.
He is?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why it's not him.
This is right here.
Okay. We're back.
Your hat is making a shadow on my face. I have to sit like this.
The informant named Sato-san had me get into his car before he set off. He favored narrow roads and made numerous short left turns. Checking if we're being followed? Yeah. You know a lot about this. Checking to see if you were being tailed by making left turns was a rather classic technique. It was just a single pursuer, you could confirm it that way. But if you were being tailed as a team, this archaic method wouldn't let you shake them. Of course, doing it anyway was better than not. I didn't hear anything from the boss as to who you are, Akasaki-kun. Related to the police? If you're unfamiliar with checking for being tailed, the only other possibility I can think of is something like a private detective. If it's not something I have to say, I'd like to refuse to answer that question. My. Ever since we played Mahjong, you seem a lot more mature. I wonder where that hesitant person went from when we first met. I smiled wryly. Looking back now, I had to be a little grateful for being made to play Mahjong. Thanks to that, I was able to relieve some tension. Eventually, Sato-san, confirming that there were no cars following us, slipped outside of the city. We were on a pitch-black country road, unable to see anything beside the lights outside. The only things I was able to hear were the hum of the car's air conditioning and the chirping of insects and frogs. I heard from the boss that you want to hear a bit about Hinamizawa Village, yeah? Like about the old houses known as the three families who control the place, or that right now it's pretty much the Sonozaki family running things. You know that much already, I'll cut out the introductions. Then if you would, can you confirm or deny if the Onikafuji Defense Alliance is involved with the kidnapping of Minister Inugai's grandson? Sato-san checked the rearview mirror one more time to confirm there wasn't anybody behind us before speaking. Last night, the Sonozaki main house held a family council. Did you hear about it from the boss? No. If it was a normal meeting, then it would just be all the relatives come together over a nice cup of tea or something. But a family council held by the main house isn't quite so relaxed. A family council held by the Sonozaki main house. That would be a meeting between those who truly controlled Hinamizawa Village. They wouldn't be talking about private family matters. It would be about the village as a whole. About organizing activities against the dam project. Among other things, everything would be decided there. In reality, they were deciding the fate of the village. At the head of the meeting was Oryo Sonozaki, or more or less called Empress Sonozaki, as the ultimate decision-maker of the clan. She was to be feared and respected. Infirm with old age, she was often unable to stand on her own, but her words carried enough weight to sway the fate of the village. It seemed that lately she had grown weak, and on days where she wasn't feeling well, remained bedridden. Family councils that occurred while she wasn't feeling well took place with her on the floor. in the middle of a dignified Japanese-style room, still on a futon, only the other half of her body sitting upright, a stern look on her face. That was Oryo Sonozaki. Sitting next to her was her heir, Mio Sonozaki. She was still young. No, young wasn't quite the right word. She was a girl who remained childish. Her role was to merely sit beside Oryo Sonozaki, sometimes responding to her requests. However, she was the only one deemed worthy to succeed Oryo. She had the same hawkish eyes, enough to give pause to anybody who so much as looked at them. Much was expected of her in the future, this granddaughter of the Sonozaki's leader. And, also on the either side of her, sat several other important members of the remaining three families. Kimiyoshi family and the Furude family. First on the list for the Kimiyoshi family was of course the mayor of Hinamizawa village, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. And lined up beside him were several more of his direct relatives. Opposite them sat the other of the three families, the Furude family. The Furude family was only comprised of the family of a Shinto priest, so the only ones sitting there were the said priest, his wife, and their daughter Rika. Rika was doted on by many of the other older folks in the village, and it seemed that Oryo was no exception. While the stress from just attending a family council was said to be enough to shorten your lifespan by 3 days, it seemed like Rika was the only one exempt from that. No matter how charged the atmosphere was around her, she paid it no mind, instead humming along as she doodled in a sketchbook. In fact, the night before, lying on her stomach while humming and doodling, she nonchalantly tucked her legs into Orion's futon like it was a kotatsu. All this was the three families. And all around the room, lined row upon row, were relatives of the Sonozaki family. The only ones who were afforded cushions to sit on were direct relatives. The others were left to sit in the seiza position directly on the tatami mats, with Empress Sonozaki enshrined at the center. They were almost like a giant snake coiled around the room. It was decided that everybody would sit in order of their rank. The number of people from the Sonozaki family was overwhelming. The fact that the Sonozaki family held so many seats at a meeting where everything pertaining to the village was decided made determining where the balance of power was held in the three families as clear as day. The number of members in attendance from each of the families directly reflected how much influence they had in ruling Hinamizawa.
Hold on, Blake.
Yeah.
Okay, what entered my mind is, how does he know this? Who would he be that could get this close?
I assume we'll find out.
Dr. Irie. Because he was taking care of...
taking care of business.
He was taking care of
Oryo.
Of Oryo.
So we'll see. What was talked about at that meeting? Sato-san, after remaining silent for a while, quietly began to speak. Wasn't our monetary gift of appreciation to the media a little large? Breaking a long moment of silence was the head of the Kimiyoshi family, Kiichiro Kimiyoshi. The Onikafuchi Defense Alliance wasn't a business. They were nothing more than a private organization pushing for the cancellation of the Namizawa Dam project, with no reliable source of income. Fundraising had always been a problem. When they first started operating, they had managed to collect a sizable amount of funds through donations, but as the conflict dragged on, that amount was steadily declining. This isn't an era where you can get away with what you want just by throwing rocks. It's very important you don't underestimate the power of the media. We want to borrow some of that down the road. Expressions of the people related to the Sonozaki family were sullen. But the one who suggested that they should borrow that power was the family head, Oryo Sonozaki. Battle wasn't just about force of arms. In this civilized age, there were civilized methods of fighting. Oryo suggested that, creating a strategy incorporating the mass media. Orio's foresight was spot on, and the effects of that plan, while at first unclear, slowly began to manifest. That the physical confrontation at the construction site was meant to delay progress on the dam by even 1 day. That the propaganda war using the media was aimed at attacking the dam project itself. At first there were those who had doubts about that strategy, but there was nobody now who called those results into question. But in order to maintain those media ties, a colossal amount of money was required. As long as the amount of funds they had was abundant, things would turn out fine. It couldn't be argued that it was a massive expense, but the results spoke for themselves. But with the conflict continuing to drag on, the circumstances had changed. Head of the Sonozaki family? No. the one who sat at the pinnacle of the Namizawa's three families, Oreo, had suggested the idea herself. So it was already untouchable and continued to be allowed to drain from the budget. Nobody acknowledged that it should be so allowed, but nobody could say anything. That was the price of dealing with the mass media. What do you think, Oreo-san? The only person who could object to a plan proposed by the head of the Sonozaki household herself was probably Mayor Kimiyoshi. Oreo, with a hard-to-define expression on her face, as if she severed herself from the fetters of mortal emotion, simply listened quietly to Kimiyoshi's words. But really, it was hard to tell if she was quietly listening or didn't even have the intention of listening at all. Last year, we went through a lot of trouble getting people to wrap their heads around the price hike on the bulletins we were putting out. We convinced them it was just the one-time thing. It just wouldn't do if we had another one this year. Right, Furude-san? Mayor looked to the priest and his wife and the Furude family for affirmation. The priest gave a vague expression, avoiding a prompt response. But his wife gave her answer without a second thought. That's right. The costs of the bulletins are a particularly harsh burden for the poorer families. Everybody is dealing with it for the sake of the village, but it's best we don't increase the prices anymore. The bulletin was, as its name implied, a bulletin published by the Onigetsuchi Defense Alliance. It outlined the Alliance's activities, ideals, and resolve, but you couldn't deny the contents were rather piecemeal. That bulletin's main goal wasn't to inform people, but rather was something to sell the businesses and people living in the village or connected to it, using those sales to collect funds. In other words, it had become something of a tax. Of course, it didn't have to be said that this was one of the main sources of income for the Onigetsuchi Defense Alliance. Originally, purchase was supposed to be voluntary, but in Namizawa, it had suddenly become the opposite. In the neighboring towns as well, it seemed that many businesses were buying copies just to avoid butting heads with the Alliance. The priest whispered to his wife to not say anything unnecessary, but was struck down decidedly with a cold glare. Cowering from that glare, the priest shut his mouth. The priest's wife always held the power in their relationship. That was because she was the one who carried the Furude bloodline. The priest merely married into the family. Nothing more than somebody who adopted the name just to join the three families. He should have been able to find a spot fairly high up in the hierarchies of things, but the lack of authority in his voice meant that he still had not gained any favor. Casting backwards glance at her rather disparate parents, Rika continued to duel whimsically without paying them any mind. Signaled by a look from Oreo, Mio brought her ear closer to her grandmother. There, something was said to her in a quiet voice. After responding with a couple questions with a nod from Oreo, Mio looked around the room and conveyed her grandmother's words. There will be no freeze on the price increase for the bulletin. Miyoshi made a face like he had just bitten into something unpleasant, but that expression quickly disappeared like it had never happened at all. Mion-chan, I think you already know this, but the cost of the bulletins is by no means easily affordable. It's a burden carried by everybody in Hanamizawa. If we make people carry too much of that burden, it's possible it will collapse from the inside. And who in the inside would start that collapse? I didn't mean like that. I'm asking who would be the first to buckle. Being cross-examined by a girl who still had fragments of childness remaining within her, the words struck in Kimiyoshi's throat as he sunk into silence. Mion repeated her question once more, looking around the crowded room. Everybody refrained from making eye contact to avoid being pierced by her gaze. The words she had spoken were unarguably said in proxy for Oreo. That's why when Mion spoke to them, they carried the same weight. But the look in her eyes was different. Like Oreo's, they had a hawkish gaze, strong enough that anybody looking upon them would freeze in their tracks and yield. But that gaze was without question one that belonged to Mion herself. As Mion would eventually inherit everything from Oreo, the day when she would stand up as a young and capable leader in her own right would come. Nobody wanted to believe otherwise for even a minute. That's why nobody even thought of Mion as just some sort of little kid. Kimiyoshi-san, nobody will lose their resolve over something like a price hike on the bulletin. Kimiyoshi, while grumbling a little bit, made a gesture as if to say he had no objection. The expenses related to the mass media will continue. If those expenses become too much, we'll have no choice but to continue the price hikes. Mion had rendered her judgment. Everybody bowed their heads, silently listening to her words. In the name of Mion Sonozaki, as acting head of the Sonozaki family, I hereby declare that all of this shall be effective immediately. There shall be no objections, and any opposition shall be removed by force. The formal decree was read aloud, indicating her judgment. There would be no retrial, but there was a certain authority behind those words that even a courthouse couldn't compare to. If she was a judge, she would have banged her gavel, signaling that the matter was settled. Mion pulled out a large bell from inside her clothes and rang it. Everybody present could only prostrate themselves before the harsh sound of the bell. Damn. Well, that's a rather old-fashioned family council, isn't it? A young guy like you probably would find it hard to believe. In an antiquated place like this, these types of things have firm roots. It was exactly as Oishi had said. The old system of the three families had vanished, and now the Sonozaki family was running things by themselves. On top of that, their rule was borderline despotic. Was that the end of the meeting? No, there's more. I'll continue. Fuck. But wait, there's more. Eventually, after the ringing of the bell ceased, there was a deafening silence. Within all of that, a lone man shuffled closer to Mion and whispered something in her ear. Mion asked several questions quietly in response. When she was satisfied, she motioned for the man to leave. The man who talked to Mion was a member of a gang that her father was the leader of. That organization had the entire area of Shishibone City under its control, so it was quite well known even here. Of course, this was talking about the criminal underworld, so it's not like just anybody would know. But just showing a patch with the gang symbol on it was enough to resolve any disputes in the neighborhood. Mion's biological father, Oryo, was her daughter's husband. The power of that man's gang was the driving force that controlled the dark underbelly of the Onikafuchi Defense Alliance. And so that man, from his position as the next in line to control the three families, continued to coerce everybody around him with his unconventional presence. Mion exchanged a look with her father. Was it okay for her to tell what she just heard directly from Oryo? It looked like she was asking him that question. Her father gently but firmly nodded his response. Mion also nodded, then sidled up to Oryo and informed her of something. Eventually, Mion finished conveying her message, separated herself from Oryo, and fixed her posture, waiting for Oryo to signal her response. It wasn't often that Oryo showed any emotion. That's why when she started to laugh quietly, a vague sense of uneasiness crept over everybody in the room. That's quite the conundrum, isn't it? Oryo was laughing so happily that Kimiyoshi had to hesitantly ask, "What is it, Oryo-san?"
This land is like a mother to us. This business with the dam is like somebody threatening our mother's life, isn't it?
Kimiyoshi, unable to comprehend the meaning of her words, looked confused. Oryo, with a wide grin on her face, turned towards everybody and addressed them in a clarion voice.
The minister behind the dam project is apparently rattled over the kidnapping of his grandson.
That makes us even. That's absurd! Information on the kidnapping of the minister's Inugai's grandson shouldn't have leaked from anywhere. How did they know? Even we didn't know that much about the kidnapping incident. Exactly how did an antiquated household so far away from Tokyo come to know of it? It was a tranquil place, but I couldn't help but have an uneasy feeling about Hanamizawa village. At some point, I had mentally filed this place away as unrelated to the incident at hand. That mental paperwork had just blown away in the wind. How did the Onikafuchi Defense Alliance know about that? Sato-san, unable to come up with an answer, fell into silence. I'm sorry. Please continue. Sure.
Man.
It's like, oh my gosh! The Minister of Construction's grandson was kidnapped? Oryo-san, is that true? That major of an incident was nowhere to be seen in the newspapers or on TV. But in Hanamizawa, there was nothing strange about Oryo knowing something that the rest of the world didn't.
I'm paying then is the pain of losing a mother. I don't think it completely makes up for it, but the pain of losing a grandchild. You'll have to bear with that for a bit. Don't you think?
The last question wasn't addressed to anybody in particular. It was as if she was trying to look for a consensus.
Still, land and a human child are different things. And I don't mind hiding him here, but I don't want harm. But I want no harm to befall him. The child isn't to blame. Make sure to keep that in mind.
Oh, man.
That means that the Onikafuchi Defense Alliance were involved in the kidnapping. I can't say for certain. Why? Even though the leader Oreo was clearly giving orders on the treatment of the kidnapped child. Lad, you see, this is what the Sonozaki family always does. Always does? What do you mean by that? Let's say there was a particular problem. One that wasn't exactly favorable for the Sonozaki family. Oreo shows concern over that particular problem. Hearing that, somebody who attended the family council would be helpful. As a result, Oreo's wish would be granted. However, neither Oreo or anybody else would know who actually did it. With this kind of clever little ploy, the Sonozaki family would be able to manipulate events even though they had their hands laid out on the table. Then that means that somebody who was at the family council was the culprit. Or there's the possibility there was never a culprit in the first place. Oreo herself in that room full of people didn't explicitly say that somebody pulled off the kidnapping. She was just giving her opinion. It was not an unpleasantly secretive way of doing things. Were they involved, or weren't they? I couldn't see beyond the veil. This much, however, I could say with certainty. This kidnapping was an ironclad secret. No matter how high a position somebody was in, even they wouldn't know about it. If there was somebody who would know about it, they would be connected to public safety. In other words, one of us. The only other options were people connected to the case itself. Including the minister, there would be people affected by the incident. Or the people that committed it. In any case, there was no way an old household in a place removed from Tokyo by over 6 hours of highway travel should know about it. Them knowing it all was already strange. My suspicions began to accumulate, like falling snow. That's as much as Oreo said in regard to the kidnapping. Hopefully what you wanted to find out was in there.
Just left more questions.
After this, it's up to you. I don't know what kind of work you're doing, but if you're going up against the Sonozaki family, you best prepare yourself. Oishi might be fearless, but even he's been attacked 2 or 3 times. He hasn't been wearing it lately, but at one point he was wearing a stab-proof vest while off duty. Oh. Thanks for the warning, I'll be careful. You speak pretty well. Are you from Tokyo by any chance? Huh? What's your point? Investigators were always close to danger. It was best to not divulge any information on myself. Your job. Could it you possibly be someone from Metropolitan Public Safety Division? I couldn't remain silent here. It would be the same thing as admitting it. Huh? No way! This wasn't accounted for in the money I got from the boss. But as somebody who played at the same table today, I'll give you this one as a freebie. After Oreo talked about the kidnapping, there was one other topic that came up. Another topic that Oreo brought up. And right before he told me this, Sato-san asked if I was from the Metropolitan Public Safety Division. In other words, what those 2 things meant caused a chill to run up my spine.
So you see, that in order to investigate the kidnapping of the minister's grandson, there's word that there will be an investigator from public safety dispatched all the way from Tokyo.
An investigator from public safety? You can't be reckless and make a big deal of the kidnapping.
So So it seems the Metropolitan Public Safety Division is investigating this on their own. Ain't that grand? Huh? What is it?
Rika, who had been drawing the entire time and was completely uninterested in the conversation, up until now looked at Oreo with an interested face as soon as the topic of public safety came up.
Did the Metropolitan Police come?
Oh,
Did the Metropolitan Police come? Oh, so Rika Chama knows about the Metropolitan Police Department. That's very admirable.
okay. Is there anybody who knows what kind of guy from public safety came here? Mila's father raised his hand slightly. Hey, that's a nice young piece of fresh meat.
Fresh meat. Is it nice and tender?
Yeah, it is. Fresh meat. Mila's father smiled wryly as he answered Rika's question.
Oh, that was.
Oh, yeah.
Tender and tasty?
Yeah. Tender and tasty.
Oh my
Rika smiled with interest.
god!
Why did Rika suddenly act interested only when it came to this topic? That was a question that apparently nobody had the answer to. Does Rika Chama know something about this man?
I don't know.
After a rather flat reply, Rika buried herself underneath Oreo's futon again. But when she buried herself there, Rika no longer started drawing again. Instead, she was making an expression like she was deep in contemplation. What shall we do about him, Mother? Mia's father posed the question. He had the type of uncouth expression on his face, indicating that, given the order, he could snuff the problem out any time.
He came all the way to Hinamizawa. Let him take it easy for a little while.
So you're just saying to let him go around as he pleases? Mia's father asked in response. Oreo smiled thinly as she responded.
Leave him alone. But if he starts causing too much mischief, when that happens, don't hold back. I don't enjoy being taken lightly.
Fuck!
Is what they talked about that? Apparently, couldn't be that you're that fresh meat from the Metropolitan Police, are you? It couldn't be. The sensation of cold, bristling fear began to crawl its way up my back. This family council took place last night. In other words, yesterday. And today, when I was dressed up as a tourist headed towards Hinamizawa, my cover was already blown? When I remembered the first person I met when I got to the bus stop, I couldn't breathe. The person in the family council who expressed interest in the man being dispatched from the Metropolitan Police, Rika Furude. And then the person who was waiting for me the whole time in the bus shelter, Rika Furude. It was an unthinkable image. No, it was a delusion. When we met at that bus shelter, did Rika-chan already know my true identity? Did she know that I was Akasaka, dispatched from the Metropolitan Police Department and come to meet me? Then, including Mayor Kimiyoshi, every villager that I met, everybody knew but just pretended not to? Because Oreo had given instructions not to interfere? Thinking about it logically, it didn't seem possible. I met quite a number of people. There's people that are good at acting, then there's people who are bad at hiding things. If there was that many people, then there should have been somebody among them who knew I was from public safety and couldn't hide their hostility. However, I didn't feel any presence like that. But then even still, why did Oreo tell them to leave me alone? Was it because if they were careless about it, it would only raise more suspicion? Or was it because they believed a looking like me wouldn't be able to find anything? Akasaka is a coward. I recalled that strange voice, which could only make me believe that Rika-chan had been possessed. That unknown entity, no matter how you looked at it, knew my true identity from the get-go. And then, how did it warn me again? That's right. It warned me to hurry up and go back to Tokyo. Instead of the realistic worry that the Onikafuchi Defense Alliance had discovered my identity, the The absurd worry brought on by the unknown girl stuck with me more. What exactly was that girl? What was the thing I would eventually regret? That mysterious girl, Rika Furude. Let's stop this. Everything I was thinking of right now was merely conjecture. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning, I'll report everything I heard right now to HQ and await further orders. There was no mistaking that the possibility of Onikafuchi Defense Alliance were related to this case was there. And that the fact that my cover was blown meant that I was in a precarious position. But as everybody at HQ was already extremely busy, they might not be able to spare the support. Is that everything? If you want, I can drop you off wherever you like. Sorry. In that case, the station where we originally met, please. A rural road, even a street light was rare. I couldn't see anything. I wasn't aware of anything but the asphalt that was lit up by the headlights. Outside of that light, was it simply darkness? Or was there something lurking there waiting to strike? I had to think I drew the short straw here. I wanted to go back to Tokyo. For some reason, the voice of the girl warning me to go back to Tokyo still lingered in my head.
Why do I feel like this is a setup?
Oh my gosh.
I guess it's not a setup if he's gonna go drop him back off.
But here's the thing. They knew by the time he got there. Rika knew.
So
She was waiting for him.
What I think happened is, I think Oishi is leaking information.
Is Oishi leaking information? If not him, then who? We might be able to gather some new information from these tips. We have 3. The investigation runs aground. What's in the box? It's not a good sign.
What's in the box?
The glint in the demon's eye. Ooh.
Fun stuff.
Here we go.
Let's go.
What's it gonna be now?
What you gonna do now?
Yeah. Yesterday, when we met at the restaurant in Ginza, that topic popped up. That's overstepping their boundaries, isn't it? They're meddling too much with public safety. If they keep doing that, they're going to set a bad precedent. It seems that Minister Inu guy is openly uncomfortable with the way public safety is doing things. The Vice Minister is probably going to say something to that effect during Monday's debate session. But what can you do? We can only have the Director address the Vice Minister. That's why we pay him the big bucks. Well, if it comes to that, they're going to ask him for proof that the minister's being threatened. Sometimes I don't know what side he's on. If he's not on ours, then what? Well, he's probably getting some pressure from the minister. We'll probably just have to proceed with the investigation while he sweats it out in the vice minister's office and buy some time. He might get it so wrung out to dry that all that'll be left are dregs, though. So how's the investigation going? All the juicy leads I was pinning my hopes on turned out to be duds. Honestly, I'm at a loss. There are reports that the Namizawa Dam project has been showing up a lot lately in the minister's press releases. So what about that? Huh. Well, you say showing up, but it's really more of a slight feeling that something's strange. You just happened to mention it during your speech at the XX Prefectural Forum, so it just might have been something that he was mentioning because it was relevant at the time. If I remember correctly, a local organization there was protesting quite violently, no? The Onikafuchi Defense Alliance. I think Akasaka-kun was investigating that. I think those guys could possibly be behind what's happening now. Even if we can't say there's anything overtly suspicious about them, it might not be prudent to remove them from the picture. Akasaka-kun reported in passing that he couldn't deny that possibility. Then isn't there merit in investigating them? We're going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, so if they're one of the suspicious groups that are left, we'll eventually have to. Well, they're not the only group we should investigate, right? If we're just talking about groups that are suspicious as Onikafuchi, there's quite a few of them. We don't have the men, the time, or the money for it all. I'll try asking for more details from Akasaka-kun. I feel like we should pay some extra attention to this defense alliance. He's reported that he's established a rapport with the villagers. It also seems he's collaborating with the local police. Keep your contact with Akasaka-kun on the down low. Also, if there's anything in his info that merits investigation, it's possible we could send reinforcements. Got it. Sorry, Chief Kataoka. There's a phone call from the director. Should I transfer it over here? No, it's okay. I'll head over there. Yes, hello?
So that was back at the main Tokyo
Okay,
office.
so other leads are
running around, and he...
and so they're now questioning if they should further continue investigating to see if they need to send any more resources over to Akasaka.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that comes into play later. If they send anybody else. What's in the box?
I want to know.
I want to know what's in the box, goddammit!
Open the box.
Do you believe that there are choices in life?
Oh, it's gonna be one of these.
It's gonna be one of these. There are many people who lament the following. It's gonna be one of those boxes, isn't it? If there only existed points in life where there were clear choices to make, would we be able to scrutinize those carefully and make decisions that would lead us to a better future?
No.
Every time I hear people lament as such, I cast it off as a rather trivial worry. Even if you were given a clear choice, it wouldn't be meaningful at all. There wouldn't be any such path to a better future. Is this hard to understand? Then let's pretend that in front of you, there are two strange boxes. In other words, you have two clear choices. Do you open the red box or the blue box?
Blue.
A lot of things would be uncertain, even with that choice, wouldn't they? If you don't have the option of opening neither, then your choice boils down to the natural impulse of opening the box that holds the better result for you. Then, after examining the shape and features of each and pondering a great many things, you have to pick either the red or the blue. If this was you, which box would you open?
Blue.
Red or blue?
Which would you choose?
Red. If you were to go by their traditional meanings, then red would be a dangerous, threatening color. However, that doesn't automatically mean it would be a calm and relaxing inside the blue box either. In fact, it might even be that the colors are a trap, make you wary of the red box and you open the blue. A trap. Could it be the contents of the box aren't a reward, but rather a penalty? See? Now you're at a loss. You're so conflicted over the choice between red and blue that you started wishing there was an option to open neither and just leave. But there isn't. You have to open either the red box or the blue box. Oh, I forgot to say this, but if you choose one box, the other will disappear. So you'll never know the contents of the box you don't open. I'll just put that rule at the end for you. Now, why don't you choose? The red box or the blue box? It's alright. You won't lose anything by picking either one. Come on now. Oh my god, the first choice you've ever had to make!
Blue, please.
I want to open red though.
Open the red. I'll give you that. Open the red.
Have you thought about it? In the end, you chose this color, didn't you? As soon as you choose, the other box disappeared. So you can give up on the contents of that one, okay? That's the rule. Now open up the box you chose. Inside the box there was a piece of caramel. I know you're a little disappointed. Well, that's only natural. No matter how you look at it, it looks like you drew the dud. The correct box might have had a bar of chocolate in it for all you know. No, in fact, something incredible like a pair of tickets to Hawaii might have been in there. But even if you wanted to verify that, the other box has already disappeared. There's no way you can check now. But if you think about it from an optimistic point of view, just maybe the other box was empty, and this box was the winner. And being satisfied, or perhaps not, with such a cheap prize, you pop it into your mouth and start chewing it happily. So what do you think at the end? If you were given a second chance, would you try opening the other box? But unfortunately, the chance to choose between the red box and the blue box has come and gone. Never to be seen again. The chance to change your selection will never come. Don't your parents often say every choice you make in life only happens once, so choose carefully? Hee hee hee. See? Choices aren't that great after all. Aren't you a little disillusioned now? I kind of want to reopen that tip to see if we could choose again.
Do it.
Okay.
If we can't, we can just cut this out.
What are you doing? Aha! Yes! We can choose again.
Okay. It's gonna be.
Have you thought about it? You chose a color.
And the box disappeared. It's gonna say the.
That's the
caramel.
rule. Now open up the box you chose. Stick a chewing gum. Right now you're thinking that's it? That's right, the contents of the red box and the blue box were a piece of caramel and a stick of chewing gum. Oh my gosh, it knows! You might have thought you made the wrong choice before, but now seeing them together like this, you can't really say that either choice was the wrong one. Well, I guess everybody has their personal preferences. If you prefer caramel to gum, for example, you're definitely thinking of choosing to open the box again based on that preference. The clear choices you wanted were basically this: the selfish desire to open up both boxes and compare the contents, then pick the one most suited to you. But you see, reality is the same as this game. If you pick one, the one you didn't choose disappears. So there's no way you could check the result.
My God.
If at that time, if you had done this, or perhaps if you had done that, then it wouldn't be hard to imagine that you could be happier or perhaps less happy than you are right now. And then you only have the pleasure of proving or being disappointed by the choice that you didn't make.
Is this getting us ready for the answer where we have to make choices?
I don't know.
Oh, that's gonna make me. Ooh.
After all, didn't you enjoy the thrill of making the choice? If, like now, you knew the contents of both boxes, the choice between the red box and the blue box would be just a waste of time. Because instead of this boring game about boxes, you could be looking at the quickly changing evening summer sky, listening for the distant sound of thunder, and pondering if it's going to rain or not. That would be much more fun.
That's the same person. That's the same thing as the rain. I'm bored. It's supposed to be sunny.
Who the
today.
fuck is this person? Alright, I imagine we'll find out later. The glint in the demon's eye, our final tip. But the idea of choice has been planted.
That's it.
Uh-huh, yes. So the wake will be from 6 p.m. tomorrow, and the service will be the day after from noon until 1. The venue will be Okinomiya Ceremony Hall. I see. It's Deputy Mayor Ikazawa's grandson's funeral we're talking about. We have to pay our respects. Mion, I'll have you go in my stead. Okay, got it. Should I wear morning clothes? How much should I bring for the funeral offering? You can go in your school uniform. Make sure you button it up properly. For the money, 100,000 yen. They've done a lot for us. Mion quietly whistled in awe at the exorbitant amount of money her grandmother was offering. Ikazawa's been a prudent person ever since his days as head of the Okinomiya Municipal Office.
Oh, man.
Even if those government types paid me a visit, they'd always stay outside. But whenever I offered Ikazawa-san a cup of tea, he'd come inside and carefully listen to what I had to say. He always lent a proper ear to what people had to say. Others should learn from a person like him. The two guests made a show of nodding, making it clear they were paying attention to Oreo reminisced. The sight of them trying not to get caught on Oreo's bad side was humorous enough to elicit laughter from Mion occasionally. How young was Deputy Major Ikazawa's grandson when he died? 11 years old, apparently. Oreo closed her eyes and shook her head lightly, lamenting the loss of such a young life. If I recall correctly, he said he only had one grandchild. How sad. There's nothing worse for a parent than outliving their offspring. You're really nice to other people, Granny. If Shion or I died, would you be this sad? Don't be stupid. Saying something like that is bad luck. Having got the reaction she expected, Mion cackled. The two guests, unsure if they were supposed to laugh along, instead forced awkward smiles. We'll take our leave for today, then. We'll be by tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock to pick you up. Until then, please excuse us. After bowing their heads repeatedly, the guests left by the front door. Mion saw them off, waving her little hand goodbye. They're gone. It must be rough for them to pay you a courtesy visit, Granny. It would be fine if they just broke the news over the phone. Well, it was true that Oreo Sonozaki was a central person for both her relatives and the residents of Namizawa Village as a whole. As a voting bloc, they numbered in the several thousands. It wasn't hard to imagine the mayor would try to pander to her. Unlike Mion, however, Oreo was looking up longingly at the sky from the veranda. What's the matter? Are you going senile? I just thought that no matter whose grandchild it was, I'd feel sorry for them. Saying that, she let out a deep sigh. Mion was let down, as normally her grandmother would have scolded her for her attitude. Mion, you know, that minister's grandson, how long has it been since he was abducted? Huh. 4 days, maybe? Or you let out another deep sigh. He may be the grandchild of our bitter enemy, but I still feel sorry for him. Really? That's enough of a warning. We should bring this to an end soon. The playful expression drained from Mion's face, leaving behind a stern one. And then, as if to ascertain Oreo's will, looked into her eyes. Oreo, expressing her attention with only those eyes, looked back into Mion's. And the abyss stared back. I want some tea. Could you call for some? Some of that chocolate, too. Mion gave a small nod and turned around. Shimiko-san, are you there? Shimiko-san, are you there? Grandma wants some tea. Could you prepare some? From far away, a voice responded in the affirmative. Mion, after confirming she'd been heard, picked up the phone and began dialing. Hello? This is Mion. Yeah. Is my father there? Oh man. Oh man, it's going down.
Mion's gonna go behind.
She's calling Daddy.
That's why. I think. Don't Oreo and the father not get along in the now tense?
In the present?
In the present? Because Shion lives with her. Shion lives with her dad.
Shion lives with her dad.
Mion lives with her grandmother.
Yes.
And she says we don't talk about where Shion lives.
Well, I think it's just because Mion and her grandmother, I don't think, are fond of Shion. I don't think it has anything to do with her father.
Okay.
Her father is more just a place for Shion to escape to.
Yeah.
Because her father is in charge of the Shishibone district.
Yeah.
He has that place under his thumb. Which, gathering from this, seems to have furthered him marrying into the Sonozaki family furthered powered the Sonozakis to gain this influence.
Yeah.
Now that she had the Yakuza on her side. Mm-hmm. Or this proponent of it. This branch of the Yakuza.
This is fucking opening my eyes, and I hope we get more, choices.
So we have so many questions, as in, is Akasaka gonna turn out to be Tomitake? Who is the leak? Who leaked this information? Because the Sonozakis
knew the day of.
Yeah, they knew he was coming, and they knew about the kidnapping when they had nothing to do with it.
Or they proposed that they had nothing to do with it.
Yes. It is possible that, or at least Oreo herself did not know this had happened.
Yeah.
That her family had gone to this length. And she's like, oh,
well,
interesting.
This person...
Don't harm the grandchild, but let's go with this plan.
Interesting.
I like where this is going.
I love your granny voice.
You like my Oreo voice?
Yes.
I like my Oreo voice too.
Oh.
Well then.
It's like half a Smeagol.
Half a Smeagol.
It's like Smeagol. You have to go the distance. Grant Oreo's like halfway there.
Anyway.
All right, so we don't really have all that much time to conjecture any further. Joey has to leave, so
I think he's gonna be Tokumo Kitake, and I think Oishi is
Oishi is the leak
the leak, and he's just being friendly with the
informant.
No, with the Dam Project.
Oh, with the Dam Project. Yeah, it's hard to see where everyone stands on this. Where Oishi is he friends or is he just trying to get him? I don't know. But we'll find out later and in the answer arcs. Because this does not look like to be a very long chapter.
I'm tingling in my seat.
I cannot wait for the next one. And we'll see y'all in the next
There's
one next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.